Newton mics. Show who you are. Good riddance. Is your kid in bit the forbidden? As it was written, you overbidding. With the heathens, karma is a bitch, so how you living? Pray for my enemies, I'm forgiving. Cast the pearls on hog moms and chitlin'. If it's too hot, get your ass out the kitchen. Finger licking good, good looking. Stewing in the stew, I'm cooking. You psyched out, paranoid and shookin'. Shook the table, fades I'm booking. Get prepared for this ass whooping. Listen to the words being spoken. You were talking, I'm awake and woken. While I'm spitting this, got your spit, got choking. Era of a glance in my world, eyes shut open. Parallel in my mind, I'm chosen. Reverse the time, heart frozen. Antarctica, cold as ice. Casting locks, rolling dice. Mean as nails, I'm nothing nice. They persecuted me like they rejected Christ. All right. Good evening, people. On this Tuesday evening, we got some heavy hitters in the building tonight. We got T. Lachey, we got Paul G, and we're about to talk about Black love. Is Black love dying for the sake of Black lust? How do we resuscitate Black love? Because there's a lot going on. Is this propaganda or whatnot to make us continuously stay split, or is it that we have been brainwashed to think that we're supposed to be FWBs or whatnot? Let's start. Oh, Timotheus. Who? What are you doing here, sir? Timotheus?
Yeah, I just got the good invite. What's going on, y'all?
Now, who invited you to the chat? Who invited you, Timotheus?
It was a bird.
What bird?
He just the bird flew away.
Oh my God, I ain't seen you in a long time, sir. How you been?
All right, how you doing? What y'all talking?
Okay.
What y'all talking about?
This is a pleasant surprise. And the bird flew
Oh,
away.
he
Why the
set
bird
me up.
flew away?
He set me up. What's this setup? Go ahead. What's about to happen?
Is Black love dying because of Black lust?
Uh, that's just kind of a convoluted question. I don't think Black love is dying. I think that what it is that's going on right now is a lot of young people are just being young people, and then
Mm-hmm.
they get older, and
Mm-hmm.
then they want to have morals and standards all of a sudden, and judge people based on their past like they don't have one themselves. So
Mm-hmm.
Black love to me is only dying because relationships aren't valued the way that they were back in the days.
Mm-hmm.
That's just my opinion. Everybody talks about what they want in a mate, but don't want to talk about what they'll do
Mm-hmm.
as reciprocity. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Right. So that's a good outlook, and I want to come back to that question. I mean, to the question I have in mind for you, but I do want to hear what the other panelists have to say about Black love first. Um, T. Lachey, T. Lachey, is she there? Okay,
I'm
Paul.
so sorry. Here I
Oh,
am.
there you go.
I
So,
didn't realize you were muted. I apologize. Well, lust and love are two different things. He makes a point to a certain degree. Not all relationships back in the day were good and were full of love.
mm,
There was a lot of relationships that were just sacrificial.
mm,
um, a woman willing to sacrifice who she was for the sake of the family, or a man willing to sacrifice who he was to be the provider to that family.
mm,
Um, it came with a lot, back in the old day.
mm,
And he's right that a lot of young people do grow up, but they also aren't just the ones who grow up and want to have morals. They're the ones who grow up and still don't have them. Um, a lot of us are grown by taking care of ourselves, which is what the word means. We can pay our own bills. A lot of us are grown by adult. A lot of us are grown by maturity. It really is where you are in your life, in your mindset of how you view life.
Okay. And Paul, what's your perspective on it? Is black love dying out for black love? Or black love, I'm sorry. Is black love
No, it's a bunch of propaganda.
mm,
I don't believe it at all. There's so many ways that this thing can go down. We can go rabbit hole on it. The whole thing to me is
and then
just
you breaking up,
propaganda.
Paul. You breaking
When
up. I need
You're
are
breaking
you
up real bad. You get a bad area.
are you being still? Be still, sir.
no, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Hello?
Yes, we can
Okay,
hear you
this is a
clearly.
bad spot. Yeah, okay, it's a bad
Perfect
spot in my
spot.
house,
Stay
and
right there. Okay. Go
well, I'm
ahead.
saying I'm outside, but I won't be able to stay long because my battery's low. I was trying to charge it, but I was saying it's propaganda. I don't buy it. I think what it is a lot of disgruntled people that have been in relationships or from disgruntled relationships that are now taking on these um, bad attitudes towards it, and with all this male bashing and female bashing and what have you, people talking about divesting, that's all just a bunch of disgruntled individuals who probably got into bad relationships without actually considering what, like Tim said, what they would also reciprocate to someone and expectations. So I really think it's propaganda. There is black love it still exists. um,
Mhm.
the lust part is just, it's human nature. Everybody has a sexual desire. So
Mhm.
I mean, if that makes any sense to you, good. But that's about where I stand with it. I don't. It just sounds like a propagandist type uh uh conversation started.
If I could reiterate for just one moment, lust isn't necessarily about sexual desire. Lust is actually more of, how can
It's
put it?
manipulation. It's the
Well, it doesn't
game.
come
It's
out,
playing the game. I'm
it's
sorry.
projected as that manipulation, but
Mhm.
from the eye of the one in lust, it's of more of like a romantic type of feel.
Mhm.
Um, as we all know, romance is not sex. It's a way of it's a way of being. And
Mhm.
so women will lust and men will lust over the idea
Mhm.
of something. But
Mhm.
knowing, I think we all really know if we really like a person or if we're infatuated with lust. So that's where the manipulation coming at. Like they'll know they really don't like you, I think, but they're willing to go ahead with
Mhm.
the fairy tale of it, the feel good of it, and see where it goes.
Mhm.
I don't know if I could agree with that being a lust. I would call that what we used to call back in the day going through the motion, because although it's not nothing really emotional involved, it's just, hey, this is available, just go along with it and see what happens. And as far as whether it's sexual or some other um, some other adjective or whatever you want to call it, this black love exists and it's still strong. It's still here. But
Mhm.
again, you just got a lot of people that's just made some I've made bad decisions, but I haven't given up on black women. You know, I've made some bad decisions in my marriage. I haven't given up on marriage, and I would never tell someone not to get married. You see what I'm saying? So when if you made some decisions and things just didn't go right, it could be the other person, but sometimes it could be us, and we got to get ourselves together before we can actually get involved with anyone else. So it's a bunch of disgruntled people in the world.
Mm. This
Well,
leads me. This leads me into thinking. You know, hurt people hurt people.
Hmm.
You know, um, people been traumatized, and then they have greed, wrath, lust, all kinds of stuff, especially when trauma causes depression or PTSD or mental health problems. Then this is how narcissists are created. uh, People that's manipulative and conniving when they're hurt and someone misused them. And it depends on how you internalize these things. And I like to say, train up a child in the way they should go, and they should never depart from it. But not every child has been trained to treat people the way that you want to be treated. In other words, the golden rule. You know what I'm saying? And you don't want nobody to try to manipulate you, lie to you, deceive you. You know what I mean? You want people to treat you well, but then certain people haven't been treated well. So now they're taking it out, and it becomes this never-ending cycle of bitterness. And they're not healed. You know what I mean? And so I think that it is propaganda. I think that the media shows us what we want to see. I mean, what they want us to see. And I know a lot of Black love relationships that's thriving and surviving, and it's not even traditional. What brings me to another question. Why do you think they want to keep us divided with our love, Timotheus?
I don't think there's necessarily still a plan to keep us divided. I think that plan was put in play a long time ago, and over time we've just perpetuated it on ourselves. You know what I mean? Like, for example, like you see a lot of young girls, that view having a baby with somebody as less of a commitment as getting married to the person. And it's like, and that's wild to me, because having a baby is a super commitment. And then it's like, I get it, the goal is not to be married like back in the days and all of that. But as a parent, you would want to set your child up to have the best possible outcome, right? So why start your child out in life with a deficiency already,
Oh, I'm sorry, Timothy, because you just made me think of the original question that I wanted to ask. Do you think we should teach the children young to have committed relationships, or do you think that we should teach them to date and all these other things? Because back in the day, once when a man was attracted to a woman and he wanted to go there with her sexually, he was to marry her. So, do you think that we should continue to teach that?
If I may, I don't think to teach them either. I think first and foremost is just to teach them how to love themselves. Learn to know that happiness is from within, of who they are, loving them, because teaching them how to commit and how to date, and they don't even know who they are or to love themselves or how to be a friend to themselves, because you can only love you in order to truly love someone. And happiness is from within. People can't make you happy. They are to add happiness to your life. So to speak of commitment and dating, before even teaching them to learn who they are, they will feel that out themselves if they leave the house that way.
Okay, Timotheus, do you think that they should learn young to be in committed relationships?
Kind of yes and no, because I do agree with what the sister just said, Tilla Shay just said. But at the same time, children learn from, example, and, our parents are our first teachers. So if you grow up in a household and you never see your mom have a healthy relationship with a man, you don't know what that looks like. If you never seen your father have a relationship with a woman, you don't know what that looks like. So all you do as a child, you you inadvertently soak in those behaviors, and you begin to learn that dysfunction is normal. And that's kind of what you see in our community. It's been enough generations of, single parents and single parent households to where in our community we see that as, no big deal. You kids on the playground, oh, I don't know my daddy, I don't know my daddy either. They bond. It's a trauma bond in a sense when you
Mhm.
think about it that way. You know.
Well,
And,
okay. And
and I can. Oh, I'm sorry.
Paul, what you think? Do you think that we should teach the children at a very young age?
Um, can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Um, I don't know about a very young age, but I think when they start showing an interest in, I guess, dating or liking someone, I think that's the moment you might need to have that talk with them. And then I would also go as far as to say I agree with both the other two panelists. But so
Mm.
depending on when that child starts showing that interest is when you might want to have that conversation with them.
Mhm.
If I
Uh,
may, if
go
I
ahead.
may, really quick, say one more thing. Um, to what the young man was saying, the reason why I said, have you ever known a family or a friend where a female or a male child walks away from a family that you were describing, but they're not necessarily like that person, like their parent?
Ask the question again, please.
I was asking the young man, Timothy, I don't want to say his name wrong, so I do apologize.
Don't worry,
But
Timothy.
he was saying how children see, they're led by example, and that is 100% correct. But there is, for the sake of some, that when you're teaching a child 3 and 4 years old, as they're growing, how to be respectful, how to love them, what not to do to themselves, she may not, as the mother, be in a perfect relationship standpoint, but as long as she's teaching that child correct and being active in that child's life, because it's almost as if like you're in school, you're there to learn. But you know how you have some children that cut up, act up? Not every child does that. That's another vulnerable environment that children dwell in for 12 years. And 13, you count kindergarten. So it's like that's the home away from home. But if you notice, not all children will engage the same way. It is possible that if that mother is doing the due diligence to talk to that child and groom that child can walk away from that home with seeing that toxic relationship and say, that will not be me. But that's how they can do that, because they can see it to understand it, but they know it's wrong because they've been told it's wrong. I don't think a lot of parents turned the mirror on themselves, but instead led these children to believe it's okay.
Yeah, that's true, and
Mhm.
it can go in any way. They
Yes,
can
sir.
come from a traditional house. They can come from a nuclear family and grow up in, just because mom and dad are there together. There, it's a for the sake of argument, it's an abusive relationship. Now,
Yes, sir.
the child could learn
Hmm.
by example that, oh, this is what love is. So when I get with someone, if they don't behave this way, that means they don't love me. Or
Correct.
it could be the opposite. This isn't what love is supposed to be. It's I can
Hmm.
that child can in their spirit feel like this is wrong or whatever, and not want to repeat that and not have that. So it's a slippery slope on exactly how the individual child reacts to the situations that they're in, and that just comes with all of us being individuals.
Hmm.
So I still, in my opinion, I'm
Hmm.
not any type of therapist or nothing like that. I just think, in my opinion, that we should at least try to not give our children any deficiencies from as early as possible. You know what I mean?
I agree
Right.
100%. Let me take control a little bit, because when we talking about, because we have, there's one thing between a single parent household or
Mhm.
co-parenting household. Okay. Even in a co-parenting household or households, because they're co-parenting, there is a thing that happens with a male and female dynamic amongst Black people. And then we have the mom emasculating the husband or the baby daddy, and then we have the husband or baby daddy demonizing the woman. So in order for the children to have a and this is a question and a statement, do you think in order for the children to have balance, that whether it's a baby daddy or a husband and wife situation, that they respect each other and show respect amongst the children? I want to ask that question, but I also want to make a statement, because a lot of Black women, and I'm not bashing Black women, but we're in survival mode, right? And we go into survival mode with the absence of a father. And I believe I was talking to Miss T. Lachey about this earlier. So in the absence of a father, we sometimes take on a dominant masculine role and vice versa. And so, because in the absence of a mother, a man takes on a more nurturing feminine role. So, and I don't want to put gender to masculine and feminine, but at some point, the divine feminine is a female and the divine masculine is a male. However, we do possess both traits. And when, like the sister was saying to me earlier, when a woman takes on a masculine energy, then she creates either a man that can be pseudo masculine. I ain't gonna say masculine, but pseudo masculine. And then vice versa, a female that with a man be pseudo feminine. I feel like regardless, you have to respect the mother and the father. So regardless if you're still together, you're not with your mother, because I feel like when people say, "Oh, your daddy ain't shit," and then y'all remember that old skit? Oh, well, if daddy ain't shit, the mama ain't shit, whatever.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Because you was a keep a nigga baby. That was so disrespectful, but we were always singing that song. You know what I'm talking about, right? No.
She's talking about it's Dr. Dre's Chronic 2001. Eddie Griffin did a skit like that where he talked.
Yeah.
Oh,
If the
Yeah.
mama ain't shit, the daddy ain't. I mean, if the daddy ain't shit, the mama ain't shit.
mhm.
Tell the mama, tell the kid, mama was her. You know what I mean?
Well,
She
if
was
I
weak. Yeah, she had the nigga to keep, she had the baby to keep the nigga. Blah 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 blah. But
mhm.
it's still the man decided to go that route. Like it's like accountability on both sides. Whether once you engage in sexual intercourse, you both agreed, whether it was verbal or nonverbal. It was a physical agreement. It was a. It was Why are you coming in my room? Go ahead, you guys.
if I may, with that being said, I do believe because of brokenness, no child asked to be born. So therefore, and as the young man was saying, that our parents are our first teachers. So granted, when you're born into a generational curse of brokenness, a lot of people, number one, won't think there's anything wrong with their upbringing because they trust in the upbringing they had. Even if they do acknowledge that it's wrong, being that brokenness is of the mindset, it is how you view people, life, and your trauma. If you are a person who now at 20 plus years believe all men are dogs, that's because all the women surrounded you dated men that were dogs of a dog nature. If you are a male that believe all women are hoes, that's because all the men around you mess with loose females to that nature. But that is not who we are as a race or a people. Like Paul said, there are good people still out here, good black men, good black women. But one thing that the young man also said is where he said, are women willing to reciprocate what they want? So if you don't even identify that there is something wrong with you, that you take you everywhere you go and you are a part of your own problem, you are in your own way, blaming someone else does not justify what you're doing or going through. I do believe you are who you're attached to. And I say that for this reason. Let's say that Miss Mika, you are a woman of your grain, of however you live your life. What,
Mhm.
if you're honest, you're hardworking, you take care of your kids. And this is one of the issues, not issues, one of the topics that was for the show tomorrow. But I will just reiterate a little bit. A lot of women say, I'm a good woman. Well, definition of good, the definition of good, is more so based on, how can I say this? That which is morally right. Okay. So, as a good woman, let's say this is what a good woman is. A good woman believes that she is, she's hardworking. That's her belief. She believes in working hard. She believes in keeping a clean house. She believes in being honest. She believes in, taking care of kids, paying her bills on time. She's her behavior. She's mannerable. Thank you, please, and thank you. Hello, how are you? She has good character traits about her. None of that has anything to do with a relationship. None of those are components of a relationship. But women will say all day, I'm a good woman. I'm a good woman, and he cheated on me. The components to that relationship, though, are you can be a good woman. You can have all those great characteristics, but do you know how to communicate? Are you trustworthy? Are you are you upholding shared honesty? Because see, it's a difference if I'm gonna be honest with you, Miss Mika or Paul or Tim, if you don't mind if I call you that so I don't mess up your name. I can be honest with you. But in a relationship, you have to possess shared honesty. Because see, men only become vulnerable through the vulnerability of a woman. So I won't sit here and give him 50% of my vulnerability expecting his 100%. I have to possess shared honesty. Am I trustworthy? Am I willing to sacrifice? Am I willing to compromise? Those are components. Do I even know what loyalty is? Because I hear a lot of people even misinterpreting the word loyalty. And so, do I possess that? Those are the components. And if there's connection and compatibility, that's even more for a healthier relationship. So, I think, too, a lot of women are misguided on what it takes to be in a relationship.
Fellas, okay, so I do want to touch on Jada Pinkett Smith. Are you guys familiar with what happened with her?
A little
Yes,
bit. A little bit.
it's all over the timeline.
First she talked about what's the little young boy name? The little August, which was her son's friend or whatnot. And then, the Oscar thing happened. And then she said that her and Will Smith was separated for 6 months. Now, this is not new news, because when her and Will Smith was on the Red Table Talk, they talked about when the separation happened and how she ended up with August Alsina, and also that it was Will Smith wrote about it in his book that came out like maybe 2 years ago. So it's not new news, right? But the whole internet is going crazy because she came out and said it. So what do you guys think about Jada Pinkett? I'm gonna go start with you, Paul.
I don't care. I honestly could give two shits.
I concur.
I feel that. Do you think she did her husband a disservice?
Um, I would say this, regardless of what I think, that's their relationship.
Mhm.
With all the rumors about what was going on with them and what isn't going on, and how people take clips and they cut it and they give it a title, and then you go read the title, listen to the video, and it's nothing like the title. All this disingenuous, misleading for clicks and views and laughs and ha-has, until like with the red table, I would take their word right there. All this media commentary and clips of what happened with their relationship, I don't care to hear it. Red table talk, we heard what they both had to say. The whole their relationship is for them. If I was going through something similar, I might be able to relate to it and talk about it, but I'm not going through anything like that. Now, I know I get it. Some people say, "What if you did though?" Well, if I did, then I would have an opinion, but I'm not going through it, so I don't have an opinion about it.
Okay, Miss T. Lachey,
Yes, ma'am.
what
My
did
opinion on it is I think he did himself a disservice with marrying her from the gate. Looking at Will life character of what he showed versus Jada's life and character of what she showed, you have an introvert as a man and an extrovert as a woman who is so wide open that I don't think she can see straight. And I think he did himself a disservice. Um, from history of what it said, Jada was, or they were, while he was still dating Trey's mom. So, in a sense, I guess you get what you asked for.
Yeah,
okay,
at the end
yeah,
of the day, their relationship is their relationship. Like we don't know exactly what goes on behind the scenes. We don't know the dynamic of how the relationship was in the beginning, what led to wherever they are now. They've been
mhm,
together since what, 97. That's like what, 27 years.
mhm,
You know what I mean? That's a long time to be with one person. And as a
mhm,
person I'm married. I've been married for 14 years. She and I been together about 20 years. I can tell you that I am not the same person she met, and she is not the same person I met. But and if you want something to grow, then you have to do the work to prepare it to grow. You got to water your grass.
mhm, mhm. Okay, so let's discuss this Remy Ma rumor because that's what it is. Are you guys familiar with that?
I'm not.
Not at all.
No. Oh. Okay, let me bring it up.
The whole her having an affair with the dude that looked like Papoose. I know about that.
Yes. Yes. And so I feel like that's propaganda because neither her or Papoose came out and said anything. And I know Remy Ma is trying to boost her because she started off as a battle rapper and she's trying to build a battle rapping company, and he's one of her proteges, right? So they do spend a lot of time together. And it was a picture taken of them eating out, but I know how it is when you're doing business. Sometimes y'all hungry, y'all want to sit down and eat. You know what I'm saying? Because you're doing business and stuff, right? Um, what do you guys think about that?
I, I, well, that situation a little bit different because I can relate to cheating and sneaking and all that stuff. Right, that's a little more simpler because it's not there between Ripple and Papoose. There was never supposed to be a, oh well, we're separated and we gotta understand it. That one I can touch. The dude that she cheated with or whatever was in a battle rap.
Allegedly.
Well, his opponent brought it up in the battle rhyme.
Right, but that's battle rap. You say,
But here's the thing: he wasn't supposed to mention it. Remy did a whole thing. You can find it on YouTube. No personal shit was supposed to be brought up. If you do that, then you'll never be part of this thing again. Dude's not part of that company anymore. So with that being said, it happened. I think with that situation, it's a sad thing because Papoose had been painted as a stand-up dude that waited on his woman while she was locked up. You know, no other women supposedly came running to her talking about your man was with me, I was with your man, I did this. And then you get out and you get a baby, and now it's, you know, I don't know. It's kind of strange, you know. If somebody says she might have outgrown him, I don't know how she can outgrown a man like that. But hello.
Yeah, I'm here. Can you hear me?
I don't know. I don't know how you outgrow someone who's actually holding you down, but you would think that, you know, they would have that conversation.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Maybe I don't know.
Conversation, because like I feel like when she was in prison, I think that she probably allowed him certain things as long as he kept it, you know, under wraps, you know, because when people in prison, they allow certain things. Mary Ma, from my understanding, was bi, so I'm pretty sure she didn't trip too much on certain things.
Right.
I don't think that I think that the rumors is to boost the ratings. I don't think that any of it is true. I think that the rumors are to boost their ratings so people can, because with Black Love, even though Papoose was um trying to brand that, it wasn't making any moves because people are so traumatized, they rather focus on the negativity than the positivity anyway. So it's like let's come up with a scandal so we could promote this business. You feel me? Because what they did was, you know, when she did her little rap battle thing, that was promoting her platform. When everybody started looking at it and numbers started going, that's promoting her. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So
but the dude
yes.
also responded, you know, made a video about Papoose Tell the Truth, addressing the beef or the supposed fight that they had previously to all this being mentioned. See, there was supposedly a fight that happened. Papoose supposedly swung on the dude. There's video where dude is saying Papoose Tell the Truth. Was he talking about? Something went on.
Is this on TikTok?
No, it's on YouTube. You can find it.
But I can do TikTok. Let me see if I can find it.
Okay, well, what is he telling Papoose to tell the truth about?
Let me see if I can find it.
I'm trying to think. His name is the block captain or something, captain of the block or some shit.
Papoose opens up on Remy Ma cheating on him after pictures leak. That ain't it, because that's just some bullshit.
Yeah, it's always some yeah, it's all you're always gonna find that, and it'll never even deal with what the fucking title says.
He is talking. Hold on, let me see. Let me see what this one is. Hold on.
We're diving deep into the world of hip-hop with a twist of drama and intrigue as we bring you the shocking revelations from Papoose himself, who's opening up about a scandal that's been making headlines. This past weekend, Remy Ma hosted a rap battle concert, and it has caused a fiery situation. The main event was a face-off between Easy the Block Captain and Geechee Gotti, and let me tell you, it got everyone buzzing with excitement as it unfolded.
There have been rumors circulating that Remy Ma cheated allegedly on Papoose with another battle rapper.
It has recently come to light that Remy Ma has allegedly cheated on Papoose, which has sent shockwaves through the rap industry. The beloved Papoose and Remy Ma have been trending on Twitter for quite some time as rumors spread about their separation. This has caused their love life to face a rough turn. After the leaked clip rap battle clips went viral, Papoose opened up about his views on the whole situation.
At that point, I was like, this is more important. I need to focus on my wife. And I just visited her every day. And she used to tell me like, yo, you can't do this. You got to focus on your career. And I was like, yo, I don't care about that.
Papoose, the husband of the famous rapper Remy Ma, just spilled the beans about the rocky road their relationship has traveled due to infidelity. The once seemingly perfect couple is now in the spotlight as Papoose shares his feelings and experiences about Remy Ma's betrayal. It's been quite a roller coaster ride for their love story. However, many people are saying that Remy Ma couldn't cheat as Papoose is one of the guys who's loyal and lovable. However, in the heat of the battle, Gotti didn't hold back. He accused Remy Ma, the Bronx Queen, of cheating on Papoose with Easy the Block Captain, even though Pap and Rem have been together for a solid 15 years. Surprisingly, Remy Ma stayed silent in the face of those hurtful accusations.
I know it was nice. He cried big tears. He still by you by your biggest accomplishment, front row, giving you big cheers. Now y'all got a beautiful baby girl who oh so amazing. He'd be damned if he lose you to this bozo with braces.
Gotti said, I don't give a fig if you're fucking this nigga. Just tell him to stop screwing the business. Y'all the poster child symbol for black love. Every interview he show his admiration and tell the world how he think his woman the greatest. Navya, he held you down in prison for 6 years. I know it was not nice. He cried. When sources are saying she left him for a younger man.
I'm done with that because that's a long-winded. Anyway, so he said he was gonna fuck his other wife. So
yeah, but look at who he and when he had that video. That was with Vlad. If you listen to what he said when I used to go see her. He didn't say when I go see her. He said when I used to go see her. That means when she was locked up. They're playing games with y'all, man.
Right.
Listen to it.
That's a snippet, right? That's what I was thinking too. Like, when did this happen? Okay, let me welcome to the stage, y'all. She's on. Do you think that black love is dying out for black lust? Yeah. Hello? Yeah. Okay, she's not saying nothing. She left the stage. Okay, let's moving on. I think that it's propaganda. I just think it's something to keep people's eyes on this type of media. And what was the other couple that supposedly broke up? It was Papoose, Remy Ma, and there's another black couple I can't think of right now. I can't even think of them. Moving on. I got other questions to ask. So what do you think about men who teach their sons to get another notch on their belt and to be men, and then men who buy prostitutes for their sons?
I would never buy a prostitute for my son. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay. All right. I would never buy a prostitute for my son. And now that he's 32, I know I don't have to. He can buy his own prostitute if he wants. As far as another man doing it, I don't. I wouldn't suggest doing it. It's not something that we need to find another way for our young men to be recognized at coming of age. And other coaches have all kinds of hunting and other kind of practices for their young boys to show that they've come of age. And only here in North America do we teach your coming of age is through your loins, and that that's bullshit. I dislike that idea, so I'm against that.
Y'all, what do you think? Is she back on? She's on. Paul G.
I'm on, and I just think I feel like the same way he feels. For what? We got to find another way to make young men feel like men without thinking that it has to be through sex or messing with females. It don't have to be that. You good just because of your core values, what you know how to do, what you've been taught to do. It makes you a man that you know how to open a door for a woman. You sweet, you work, you don't have to have a bunch of women to be a man or a prostitute, for sure not.
Timotheus, your thoughts?
It's nothing that I would necessarily do, but I kind of know some of the history to it. Like, back in the cowboy days, they would take their sons to the brothel and make a man out of them, quote unquote. And I think a lot of that has to do with, not wanting the boys to, get their first piece and then fall head over heels with that first piece. Is to have it can happen. That's just my opinion of what I learned about it. Because it's like, he can meet a woman that's toxic, and if that's his first piece, then he gonna be in love and ignore all the red flags and that type of stuff. So I understand.
Right.
That's true.
And the concept behind it, but it's nothing that I would condone or promote.
Okay, T. Lachey, because you keep going in and out, sis. Are you there? T. Lachey? Okay, so moving on. Is chivalry dead? We'll start with Paul. Is chivalry dead?
You got to spell chivalry for me. No, I'm just joking. I'm bullshitting. No, I don't think it's dead. I think what's happening is you may have an instance where a young man is only being cautious, or even if he is being chivalrous, it's being shot down. Yeah, why you trying to holler? You don't got Dusty trying to holler at me. I don't need you holding my door. Ew, I can do it. You know what I mean? It's not dead. It's just that, I'll be honest, I think a lot of young women have nasty ass attitudes, and the young boys that might try to be chivalrous are being made to feel like that's simp shit, and not to do it, regardless of what they're being taught. Now, some young men are probably still going to hold on to that, and then you'll have some that are going to be moved by the crowd. So if the crowd is saying don't do it, then no matter what you teach them at home, sometimes as kids we follow the crowd. We do things that our peers are doing. So I wouldn't say that it's necessarily dead. I just think that I don't know. I just don't think that it's dead. I'll just leave it at that for now. But there's definitely a problem. There's a problem with well, I'll say this. I'll go and say this. I'll try to be short. I get it. A lot of people will bring up these the incidents where young men or even older men are asking women out, and the women say no, and then they're getting jumped on. Yeah, you got some dumbasses out there. Yes, that does happen. But are there men out there holding doors for women and giving up their seat on the bus? I think people might need to get out more to see that thing. Otherwise, sitting on the internet looking at videos of somebody else saying it's not there is I think that's disingenuous and foolish.
It's very foolish. But touching on what you just said, though, why Why do you think men do that? Like, why do you think men, when a woman rejects their advances or she's dealing with someone else and she's trying to politely turn them down, that they get so vicious about it?
I can't answer that. I'm not one of those guys, so I can't answer that. I don't know any guys like that, so I can't answer that.
I believe it's, their own insecurity or whatever. Probably has to be something that's going on with them because they don't know you.
Mm.
So some insecurity somewhere that got them really mad.
I don't know what Wilma Jackson is talking about. Don't love yourself at Burger King. They have cameras everywhere. What does that
That's
mean?
that's what somebody might be playing. But really, I think a lot of what it is as far like chivalry, I don't think is dead. I think chivalry is only presented to those whom that guy feel is worthy.
Mm.
Because like something this Tila Shea said earlier about, I can't exactly remember exactly what it was, but it brought me to this thought like, men will only treat women based on the value that he sees in that woman, not the value that she herself. So our own individual experiences, both male and female, shape how we view our counterparts. So,
Mm.
so if a woman has, she dates 5 different men and has 5 negative experiences, she's gonna, in her mind, equate this is how guys are, and same with the other way around. As men, we tend to experience just being chivalrous and kind as being misinterpreted by a lot of women as us shooting our shot. Like, opening the door. I don't need, like Paul was saying, I don't need you to open the door. It's all right. Like, okay, I was just trying to be nice, you know, it it's and it isn't being taught, but that goes back to what we were saying earlier, is that those examples aren't being set. There aren't men teaching these boys to be chivalrous, and
Right.
there aren't women that's teaching young girls to be accepting of chivalrous behaviors. It's
Mm.
individualism is being taught. You can do it by, you don't need a man to do nothing for you. You can do it by yourself. Watch out, it's almost like a turmoil that's being perpetuated, like I was saying earlier, is the parents are teaching their children only their negative experiences, and they aren't teaching them the positive side. They aren't saying, well, I used to date this girl and she was wonderful, blah blah blah, or a woman, I used to date this guy and he was wonderful, blah, blah. Look for seek out these qualities in a person. Not This is not necessarily qualities as far as their earnings, as far as women with men looking at men, because you can make money and be a millionaire and still be an asshole. That type of stuff doesn't convey across into your character. A person's character is far more valuable and important than how much money they make. While making money is important, we live in a society where you need money to survive, but don't let that be the basis of measure on how you seek out a mate.
Right.
Um.
Let me
Hey y'all,
speak on it from
I gotta step away for a minute, but I'll
Okay,
be
just
right
go
back.
ahead and chime in when you can. Okay.
Okay, let me just speak on it from a female's perspective.
Mm.
Everything that they're saying is exactly true. Chivalry is not dead at all. Every day, I have men being nice to me, opening doors, just not even trying to be with me, but it's because I like that type of thing. And I'm the same way with men, So if a man feel like
Anybody
you're
know
gonna
what's going
accept
on with
it,
the internet?
if he feel like you can accept it, it's definitely
It's
happening.
not even work. It keeps twirling around. Do you know how to come switch it to the F6? Come on, please.
Let me mute her mic. I'm trying to.
It keeps.
Okay. Hello. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I just want to say it's most definitely not dead. It's happening all day, every day. It's not dead at all. It just depends if you're the type that like it and are receptive to it. If not, it's not going to be shown to you.
Mm. I just want to play this clip about Tia Mowry because she divorced her husband, and this is what she got to say. Let's listen.
Very surprising tweet the other day. Okay, she says on Twitter, "I know that love will find me again." I was a little shocked by that because I'm like, sweetie, love is still here. Your husband, who's still your husband, wants you to come home.
Okay, no, that's not the one I wanted to show, but I do want to talk about how she divorced her husband, and let me see, I'm gonna add T. Lachey back up in here. Well, she divorced her husband, and then she started dating again, and said the dating pool sucks, and so she didn't have no reason to divorce her husband besides the fact that they've been together so long.
Are you sure?
I've
She
been
don't have no
trying to
reason
get back in on this. It keeps
If that
kicking
was
me
her
out.
only reason, then she was a fool. But I'm sure it
Miss
was
Lachey,
probably
you're
other
on.
reasons.
Okay. Miss Lachey, you're in the show. We can hear you. Okay, she can't hear us. So let me remove her. And okay, yeah, she didn't have no reason. She just divorced him, and then she said that the dating pool. Oh, here it go. Here it go, right here. Hold on, let me show it.
I have to say, Tia, girl, you do have a point. Men don't date the same way that they used to. I would expect a man to open the car door for me. But
yeah, she was saying that the men were not chivalrous, and I remember a time, and this was in 2006 when I divorced my first husband, and I came back to California, and I started dating, and then I had men like that wanted to so-called date me. The going trend was, do you drink? Do you smoke? Do you want to get a room? I'm like, get a room? What do you mean get a room? We ain't gonna have dinner. We ain't gonna go to the movies. We ain't gonna do nothing like that. What do you mean get a room, drink and smoke and get a room? What are you trying to do? So that was how, and this was in 2006. So just imagine what it's like. I don't even know what it's like dating right now in 2023. Because I deal with older men that believe in taking you out on dates, taking you out to eat, getting to know you, having a conversation.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I was like, okay, maybe, because when I came back, I was like, maybe I'm in the wrong age range, because I was trying to date. I was trying to date people my age.
Right, exactly.
And I was used to dating men at least 10 years older than me. You know, so then let me add her back to the stage. Miss
I'm
T.
sorry. I'm having some internet connection issues. I am so sorry.
Oh, you good. You good. We were just talking about how the dating scene has changed. Like with courtship. That's why I asked, is chivalry dead? And I do want to hear from a man, and then T. Lachey, you could chime in. Oh my gosh, she went out again. Timotheus, do you think that, because I asked was chivalry dead, but what about courtship? Is men taking less effort to court women? And if so, why? Or if not, why not?
In right now, today's environment, yeah, their courting isn't a thing. And the reason why that I personally think is that way is because of this movement that we've been seeing as far as, women having autonomy over their bodies. The whole concept of, just because I want to have sex doesn't make me a hoe and all that other type of stuff. So it's created an environment to where, and I've spoken to women on my show that's actually said this exact phrase I'm about to say. They, they want to have sex first and see if they like you later, and they do that in an effort to protect their feelings, because it's like, you know, sex is a major part, and sexual compatibility is a major part of a relationship.
I'm
So
just out
they
there
want to see if
looking.
they want to see if they're sexual compatible first before they take the time to become emotionally invested with this person. So they don't, you know what I mean? They don't want to date and go on dates for months and months, and then, you know, start to fall for this person, and then it comes down to, you know, doing the do, and then it's terrible. Then it's like, oh well, I didn't already invested in this person now, but I know that this person can't, you know, meet my level of satisfaction that I need, and then, you know, so it's already creates a negative going into the relationship. So we live in a time right now where it's easier to have sex than it is to find a meaningful relationship, and men are taking advantage of that mindset that a lot of men have.
What you think, y'all?
I was getting ready to say, what women do that type of stuff? Shit, I don't have sex with nobody unless it's gonna be something. And I want to make sure I know who you are first, at least a little bit, because I can never know you fully, but at least enough to know that you won't just be, you know, a real messed up person or do something shady or probably be just on some whole other stuff. Why would you want to have sex before you know the person? That's crazy.
Well, it's called disparity, where women, especially when they reach a certain age and their beauty start to fade, or women who deal with insecurities or self-esteem issues, that they allow certain men to take advantage of them. I want to introduce to the stage my cousin KT.
Hey, y'all.
Killer on the microphone today. Hey, Killer.
Hey.
Hi.
A bitch just put the baby to sleep. Okay, I done made time for your podcast.
Finally, I got you on the show.
What y'all over here talking about? Did Shannon Sharp bring this up?
Oh, I didn't even get on Shannon Sharp yet, but we were talking about Remy Ma, Will Smith and Jada Pinkett, and then we was talking about Tia Mowry and what's her husband name? I can't remember the dude name, child.
Corey
Hardcourt. Yeah, Corey
Hardrick.
Yeah. So is Black Love dying out of Black Lust? That was the conversation. And so the question also was,
Black love for women is dying.
For women or of women?
Black women need to start dating outside their race to expand their options. Oh, but then it ain't black love no more, huh?
With that, I agree that everybody needs to date outside of their race, so that way you can learn that a person of a different race is just a man, and men can learn that a woman of a different race is still a woman. You're gonna still have to deal with the same things, issues. It's just the only thing that's gonna be different is a little bit of culture, and that's about it.
Yeah, but I think most black women can't accept dealing with men outside the race. So then they end up. That's why we have such a high population of like single black mothers.
Now I disagree a little bit, Timotheus, because black men are the only men that talk so bad about their women. You hardly ever see any other nationality talk as bad about their women than black men.
But that's vice versa. The same thing for black women.
But then we still go after those men who talk bad about us.
Wait a minute, let me finish. And so I dealt with other races, talked to other races. I am, this is where loyalty comes in, because I'm loyal to my race. So I typically get serious with my race, but just talking to and getting to know other races, they put their women on pedestals regardless of the color.
Really, do I have to come in here?
I disagree.
I think I'm gonna have to come in here.
Yeah, you may have to mute her because she's still trying to get her stuff together.
Okay, I'm gonna just remove her from the thing. Go ahead.
The black man will put you on a pedestal also.
Right. It just depends on
the right situation.
No, it just depends on the individuals themselves. Like I had mentioned earlier, I don't know if you heard, if you were listening, but a man, period, no matter what race, color, creed, will only treat a woman based on the value that he sees in that woman, and not the value that that woman sees in herself. So and as far as you only see black men talk bad about black women, it's like there's thousands of videos of Asian men talking about Asian women, white men talking about white women. There other races of women practice feminism and all of that the same way. It isn't a race thing at all. Like I said, at the end of the day, men are still men and women are still women, and we all have our grievances with our counterparts. It's going to always happen. But those views are mostly come from the interactions, like I said earlier, the interactions that we experience coming up. If you only deal with a certain type of character, then you're going to believe all women are like that. If you deal with a certain character, you're going to think all men are like that. But what we need to do, whether it's date out of our race, if not that, if you want to still date within your race, you just change your environment. Stop going to the club to meet people. Stop going to, you know what I mean? Stop
Well,
going.
I was told a while ago that to meet the perfect person, you go to your favorite place and you'll meet them there. Like if you like to read books, you go to a bookstore.
The
You know
Wi-Fi.
what I'm saying?
No, I'm saying it's only working with me right here.
Okay, T. Lachey, we can hear you. Can you hear us?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, what's your
think
thoughts? Don't worry about going in and out. Okay,
Just
she's
dropped
out
out.
again.
Yeah, her internet is on. She may need to reboot her computer or something.
Yeah, she might need to reboot her router. Let me text her and say that.
But yeah, like and even in that instance, like you were saying, if you like to read books, you go to the library or the bookstore or the coffee shop or whatever. Even in those instances, there is no guarantee that you're gonna find someone air quotes perfect. It's just you just have a better chance of meeting someone that has characteristics that complement yours. You know what I mean?
Right.
You can go to church and meet the village hood rat. You know what I mean? And she could be up there and hollering, reading the scriptures, singing in the choir, and vice versa. He could be a deacon, and you see that just recently a pastor just had to pay like $1 million stipend to somebody because he got sued because he gave somebody herpes.
What?
Right. So
Right.
the that's the importance of, I think what's really missing is that these kids need to learn to vet. Forget chivalry, but chivalry is important. I won't say forget it, but chivalry and courting aside, the vetting process and understanding how to recognize qualities is what isn't being taught. Because you can talk to somebody young and say, well, what do you think is an important characteristic you want someone to have? And they can say, I want a person that's loving and caring. Okay, well, how do you recognize that in a person? And that's when they'll get quiet, like, oh, well.
And also recognizing red flags.
Right. But the thing
a lot
about
of people like to overlook those.
Well, I don't necessarily think people like to overlook red flags. We become so ingratiated with our intoxication of that individual. Ooh, she's so fine. Ooh, he's so fine, or whatever, that we let that cloud our judgment. And
or
it
just
is
the idea of being in the idea of being in love, or the idea of having someone, or the idea of getting married, like that. You overlook it because you're essentially in denial.
I want y'all to stop throwing rocks at me, okay?
Me throwing rocks at you?
Paul's a hopeless romantic. I guess that's what he's saying. No, but seriously though, it's like I think that's where a lot of it comes into play, is that we aren't teaching our kids, and not even just our kids, just like our nieces and nephews, little baby cousins, and all of that. We need to teach them how to recognize the characteristics that we seek, not necessarily, because if they look good, okay, they look good. Okay, now what? He fine, she fine. Now what? What's after that part? What's after that part? Oh, the sex is good. Okay, now what? What comes after that? Because you can't lay up in the bed with each other every moment and every second of your life.
I want to say this, that was one of my questions. I didn't ask about sexual gratification. I don't know how to pose this question, but is it about sexual gratification? Like, did we get too caught up in the feeling of the sexual gratification and not the connection, the emotional connection, the soul tie? Anybody?
So when he was talking about that earlier, I look at it the opposite way, because if you have sex too early on, then your vision is going to be skewed by like the physical, and it's going to be, I feel like you should lay the foundation emotionally and mentally first, see if you're compatible with that person. You could always work on sex, just work with that person and tell them what you need. But
so you don't think, I'm sorry, because I thought of another question. So you don't think that sex has an impact on the relationship?
I just don't think it should be the end all be all. That's always something that you could work on, but your mental, emotional compatibility is like the foundation of a relationship, in my opinion.
You guys are women, and the studies all say that women they're not having orgasms like talking about. So a lot of times that's why a lot of women want to have sex first, to see because if he does that, it's like, okay, cool, this is out the way, now I can take the time to get to know him. But he may not. Oh, my kids are being loud, I'm sorry.
It's okay, because let me interject real quick, Timotheus. I am
his name is Timotheus, not Timotheus.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Am I saying it right, sir? Okay.
Yeah, Timotheus, same thing.
Okay. So my thing is, and I'm just telling the people that's listening, that your nut is your problem. If you can't get no orgasm, if you can't bust a nut, that's your fault. Period. Because you should know how and why and when.
All that holding back shit, cut that out.
Huh?
Well, the women,
all that holding back from getting a nut, go on and let it go. What you holding on
because
to?
I'm finna get mine before he get his. Right. 9 times out of 10, he gonna get his before I get mine, so I'm gonna get mine.
Well,
and I'll be like, suck my titty, do this, do that. You gotta be vocal.
Yeah, I agree. Vocal.
That's what I'm talking about. Talk, girl. Talk that talk.
Like
I'm just saying, that's the perfect time to talk. When you're in the middle of it, just make it sound sexy though, with a little breath underneath it.
Nah, I disagree. It could take more time than one time to teach somebody how to do something.
Okay, maybe it might take a little longer than usual.
So you may as well get emotionally invested if you're gonna do all that.
No,
right.
I'm not about to go
see,
through
me and my sis, I should have sent her the link.
I'm not about to go through all these occasions where I'm having sex with somebody, teaching them how to have sex with me, and I ain't even trying to be emotionally invested. That's stupid.
Well,
no. Okay, so
earlier, the ladies that I talked to, they were saying, you take the time to get emotionally invested with a dude, and you really like get ingratiated with the emotional side, and then it come time to do the do, and then he pull out a wee. It's like, oh, okay, well, I'm gonna do it this wee.
There's nothing wrong with a wee, but let me say this, right? In my opinion, right? When a man hit them spots and everything, that's when I become emotionally invested.
No, you backwards.
Wait a minute. No.
You backwards as hell.
I'm not backwards as hell, because I don't need him to do nothing for me. I'm finna do.
How the hell? But what he do emotionally for you to like? What?
He hitting them emotions. What are you talking about?
Tell it like it is. Tell it like it is, girlfriend.
Okay. I'm the type of woman, when I go out and like maybe the third date, I'll be like, look, if you're trying to get this, my PUSSY is directly connected to my heart. So if you hit this, you have a responsibility. You have a responsibility for this.
I don't know
So
about
I
that.
look at it the opposite, or
Me too.
backwards, or
Oh.
no, I feel like she backwards. I'm
No, I'm
frontwards.
not backwards. Because
Listen,
any man you let
if you
into
want
your
to get to my
flower,
pussy, then you need to connect to my heart first. Period.
no. Mm-mm. If you want the keys to the vagina, you need. Okay, now outside of emotions, I could say mental, maybe mental stability.
Well, it's all the same thing. Emotions, mental,
Emotion
it's
and
all the
mental
same
is two
shit.
different things. Emotion and mental is two different things. So if he's mentally compatible, like he got the same drive I got, he got a goal that's similar to mine, or I'm intrigued by what he's interested in. Okay, fine. That's where the mental stuff come in. Then like and that's also where the financial stuff come in. So it's about, so when we talking mental and financials, yes, okay, what are you doing to do this? What are you doing to do that? What's your goals in life? Like those type of things. And you know, what are you doing to complete those goals? That's what's important to me before he get the cookies. And I am
that's important to me
sexual,
too.
but that's not emotional. That is logical. That is very logical. Emotions is not
Well,
emotion.
all of those things that just aren't physical are more important. I feel like to like lay down the foundation first.
So once he hit that spot and we both got, he's sending chills down both of us, and both of us got them chills, then that's when the emotions start coming in.
No, but then later you gonna be like, oh, I just gave it up to a nothing ass nigga when he ain't even got nothing.
No,
Exactly.
There's
You
no depth
always
to
feel
him.
that at the beginning. It always feel like that at the beginning, but then after a few months down the line, you pissed that you ever did it.
Let me pause y'all real quick. Let me give a shout out to T. Lachey. She's trying to get her internet up together, and she's in and out. But I do have an interview coming up with her tomorrow. If y'all watching, check out the interview. This woman is bad with what she do. She is great. She's a certified life coach, and she gonna give y'all the keys to eternal healing. And I want y'all to check in tomorrow. 5 p.m. Pacific time, 7 p.m. Central time, and 10 p.m. I think it's 10 p.m. Eastern time or 9 p.m. Eastern time. I can't remember. But y'all check us out tomorrow. But back to the message.
Wait, which T is this? Is it, do I know her?
T. Lachey.
Oh, T. Okay.
She keep coming back in and out, but her internet is not right. So I just want to give her a shout out. I will be doing an interview with her tomorrow. But back at the message at hand, right? You guys said it's gonna y'all said it's gonna feel like that in the beginning. It don't always feel like that in the beginning. Cause it's been guys I dated and I didn't get the butterflies with.
Right.
Well, no, I don't know what she said, but I didn't say that.
I'm not necessarily saying from the beginning of like every single guy that you meet, but all the time when you first begin to like someone, you like them. You don't really know them.
Why
You just
do
know
you
everything
like
about
them?
them that you like. Right. But they also have other things to them. You can be, but because you haven't taken enough time, you haven't got to know the other things.
What is enough time? That's a good question, because I believe, and you guys all can answer this. What do you guys think is enough time? I believe that 6 months.
Enough time to do what?
Wait a minute, listen. I believe that 6 months is when a person shows their representative. I say after the 6 month mark, that's when they show who they are. And I say give yourself another 6 months after the representative has disappeared. Give yourself another 6 months to determine if you're willing to tolerate the person that they really are. What do you guys think about that?
Wait, I'm sorry. What was the question? I was checking on my hollering baby.
Why my baby hollering right now?
I don't know. I had to put on some.
FaceTime.
I had to put on some Marvin Gaye so he could shut up. But what was the question?
He like Marvin Gaye.
He like them old school joints.
I said for 6 months a person showed their representative. After the 6 months,
they representative.
their representative, like they're good, the person that they want to represent to
Oh,
be.
okay.
And then after the 6 months, that's when the person show you who they really are. And I feel like you should take even though this went against what I believe, I mean, even though I went against what I believe, after the 6 month mark, and they show who they are, I think you should take another 6 months to see if you're willing to tolerate it. What do you think about
I agree. I agree with you. I agree.
Right.
I think that makes
Is
sense.
this is from being in a committed relationship, from the like
I think she's talking about leading into a committed
a committed
relationship.
relationship?
Right. You may not
So
be
I
in
do
one,
think
but you might.
that's fair.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Mhm.
Yeah,
But I also don't think there's like a blanket rule like on a time period, because it's like, how much did you guys hang out in that 6 months, and what all did you got, because
right.
you could be dating somebody for 3 months versus like 6 months, and you actually knocked it out of the park with a nigga that you were with for 3 months, because
I
y'all
feel
only
like
saw each other every
in
2
6
weeks.
months, I feel like if in 6 months and you're only having a few in between, he's not that interested in you.
I agree. I
So
completely
after the
agree.
6 months, you'll know, okay, because some people show up with who they are right away.
Right. So you could be dating somebody like every day for 3 months versus like, only seeing that person like a couple times a week for 6 months. Nah, that
A
ain't
couple
it.
times a week is okay with me. If it's more than 2 times a week, no.
Well,
For the first 6 months, if it's for the first 6 months, if it's only twice a week, that's cool with me. I don't like to be overcrowded, so I like my space.
I don't think there should be
But
you said, a blanket state. I don't think there's a blanket time, because we got to factor in, even with the scenario like you see each other a couple times a week, we can't forget that you're gonna have phone calls in between there and all that other type of stuff. So there's gonna be interactions.
even
it's
if I
just
see the
like
man
there's
once
so
a
many
week,
factors that
even if I see the man once a week, that's cool with me too, because
nah, if y'all really like each
So-
other, y'all are not
No,
just
for
gonna
me,
well, I
how
mean,
about
also it depends on the circumstances.
it's
It may
cool
be
for
like something
me.
that's like restricting y'all from only seeing
Yes,
each other
work,
once a week.
nigga. You work 7 days a week. You get off of work sometimes. You work 9-hour days, 10-hour days, and you don't want to be bothered. Well, me personally, I don't want to be bothered if I'm hustling and grinding or I'm trying to accomplish some things. So once a week, if a man takes time out once a week and make sure he see me, that's cool. But if he talking, and I'm not like the brother said, the conversation.
I need to use the ice cream sandwich to cool down my phone.
Hello. Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Oh, okay.
What you have to say? Is there a time frame?
Too much noise.
And hello to the new people to the group. I hope I don't cut back out. I'm having some internet issues really bad. But on my ins and outs, I did hear Tim say that he wanted to reflect on something. I know I'm far reaching back, but again, I was in and out. But on a whole, I hear you saying for me. So to each his own on a time frame and how much time they will see someone. You can never really know a person in just true reality. We all have this thing in us where we might surprise somebody by the things that we do. But on a dating scene, if you do the due diligence on men and women, you might save yourself from the flag 8 months later where the agent pops up and he's this new man or she's this new woman you never seen. And the reason being is this: I know people look for what they want. This is a two-way street as well. She did say, for me, I don't want that. But what about the man who really likes you? If he wants to see you more or he wants to engage more, you spoke on your perspective. It is a two-way street of likeness. I know a lot of women feel the less a man sees them, he must not be interested. And I understand that. But this is where we as individuals, especially women, because I think we get the most hurt out of saying men are dogs. They don't, or they're not real men. Um, it's what we possess. Mr. Tim said, "Where's the reciprocity for what you want? Can you be who you want to be with?" And that's what it takes. You cannot lack the components of a relationship, but expect that from a man. I spoke to a woman once. She said, "I believe a man is supposed to give you flowers." No, he's not. He's not supposed to do anything. Everything is earned. Respect is earned. Your paycheck is earned. Everything we do is earned. And the way we do anything is the way we do everything. So there are ways and things to look for that can show you. But are some women so wounded that they love the attention they're getting, they're willing to overlook it and then get mad down the road when the agent shows up? We have to know that we are a part of our own problem. A woman has 5 bad relationships. Those men, it takes 2 to be in a relationship. That means something about you is not where it should be. Don't mean you're a bad person. Don't mean you're not worthy. It just means there's something in you that you may need to self-check with, because these are 5 different men. They didn't date each other. They dated her. So that means she's part of her own problem. And it doesn't have to be a bad thing. It's not anything to beat up on ourselves about. But self-reflection is key. Happiness is key. We have to have that. Some people look for men and women to make them happy because they're sustained by what they're getting from it that makes them happy. Is he treating her like what she feels a queen is? She's happy. Is he helping paying the bills? She's happy. Is he buying her car, paying her car note? She's happy. Is he helping with the kids? She's happy. But when it comes to one-on-one relating, that's where the problem is. Because none of that are the components of a relationship. But they're satisfied with what's sustaining the relationship.
Okay. I agree with that. It goes both ways, you know what I'm saying? And that's why I say for me, I'm okay with that because I like my space, you know what I mean? I'm stuck in a certain way, which goes back to the way beginning of this broadcast, where I in survival mode still, even though I got a husband and all that stuff, I'm still in that mode and just like gradually trying to take myself out of it, you know? And so because I'm in survival mode, I'm always pushing, I'm always going, I'm always doing. And so I don't always have the time to be the caterer or to cater to you right now. Like right now, my mind is like going 100 miles a minute. And because when I met my husband, and this is something I'll put on the table. When I met my husband, I was in a place of healing. I was in a place of just focusing on my business. So when we got together, we both had goals, you know what I mean? But we fell in love with each other head over heels. But then life got real because we still got to continue with our goals. You know what I'm saying? So he have a goal, I have a goal. So his goal is it falls right in line with the amount of time I need to spend with him. You get what I'm saying? So for everyone, so that's why I say 6 months. If you with each other for every day for 6 months, if you with each other once a week for 6 months, if you with each other two days a week for 6 months, I feel like even once a week for 6 months, you'll know if you're coming or going, because you're going to like throughout the duration of the 6 months, you might want to open up more of your time. You know,
and actually, time isn't the issue. It's what you do in that time. People can have 8 hours to be together and it be the busiest, most funnest 8 hours of a day versus some people who might take their time and do more of one thing than the other in 8 hours. So time isn't always the factor. It's what you do in the time you have.
I'm sorry. Who is this person speaking?
My name is T. Lachey.
Oh, okay. That's who she mentioned earlier. So I just want to piggyback off of something you said earlier, because I was
Yes,
already
ma'am.
thinking about it when they were talking about chivalry,
Uh-huh.
about the flowers, and
Mhm.
it's not owed, but it's
Mhm.
earned.
Mhm.
And that's one thing that I feel like distinguished me from like a lot of my friends or other women, is
Mhm.
that I always got turned off by men giving me flowers that didn't know me.
Mhm.
Like, but I want it from my boyfriend, I want it from my husband. But
Mhm.
like, when you don't know me, it's kind of like the whole sex thing. Like, it means more if we already have a relationship established versus you're just trying to like win me over and you don't even know me yet. Like, when I used to get the ick when I would get flowers on a first date, and I
Mhm.
don't know why that turned me off so much, but it did.
Well, maybe it's the definition that you're putting behind it. If they believe that you're attractive, you're beautiful, take the compliment.
I understand that's
It's
a nice
respect.
gesture, but like, it just feels like a lot from someone who doesn't like. I want it from someone who like knows me and likes me already. You know what I mean? And then it means more
I
from
can
someone
understand
like
that.
that who
Mhm.
I've like built some kind of foundation with already. But from like on a first date, it just seems like too much. Like, you're just trying too hard.
Which more has
See, I'm
more of the
opposite.
definition for you? Is it the fact that it's the first date, or is it the fact that you give flowers a representation? Because see, money to a lot of people don't mean anything. Flowers to men, it doesn't mean anything. And when I say it doesn't mean anything, meaning I like you enough to show you a little love and respect, to
Mhm.
hand you these flowers. I didn't
Right.
have to go out of my way to grow them. I didn't have to go beat somebody up for them. Is it you giving the more defining moment to the first date getting them, or to what they are to represent?
I'm not sure I understand the question, but I think for me what it is that if like I like blind dates, for example, like you
Mhm.
don't know me at all. I understand it's a kind gesture, but you would
Mhm.
do that to anybody. So
But
it's not something personal to me.
But you
right.
know
But
the
So
fact.
okay, you're defining.
if we've been on 5 days and you give me flowers, then I'm gonna appreciate, I'm gonna take it in a different way, because I'm gonna like, oh, I'm gonna be like,
Okay,
oh, you like me.
you're defining.
Can
Okay,
I
so you're
say?
giving the definition. You're
Mhm.
defining the roses. You're giving the roses a
Let
meaning.
Let me just say how I jump in for a second, and I'm the total opposite. The fact that I know he does do that for everybody turns me on.
Well, I guess I don't
A
know. I guess
gentleman.
I want it to be specific to me, not
It is going to
not.
be specific to you one day, but the fact that he does it for everybody shows his character.
Yes.
Well,
And
yeah, that's true too.
Yes.
But
That is the kind of man you would actually
yes,
want.
that's the one I want. The one that brings the flowers on the first date just to show me that he care. It's flowers, it's nothing, but you thought about me enough to bring me something, and
Can
I
I
like
ask
that.
you, can I ask the other young lady a question? The one that said she didn't want the flowers.
yeah, sure.
What's your name, ma'am?
Katie.
Okay.
I used to be Killer K in the streets, but now
Okay.
I'm just Katie.
Okay, killer. All right, don't kill me. I'm just asking the question. On the first date, do you go Dutch?
Well, I haven't been on a first date in years, but no. I mean, I would, but
Well,
I
don't you
can't.
think you should?
Wait, Dutch,
Because if
like
we
what? No panties, right?
no Dutch mean that's
Oh, I'm tripping. Would I
that's
go Dutch?
that's
Hell no.
well then why not? I mean, if he's gonna give you flowers and that's a turn up, why should you allow him to pay for your meal? If he pay for them flowers because he thinks you're nice, why should he pay for a meal because he think you're nice?
I just can't help that I feel like a lot to do for somebody that I feel like flowers is a lot to do for somebody you don't know.
Right.
Okay,
She's
well,
giving
let me
the
pause y'all real quick.
she's giving flowers a definition
Hold
because
on, let me pause y'all real quick and let me make an announcement. I'm about to post the StreamYard in the chat. If you click on the StreamYard link, you could join the conversation and give a answer to the question about chivalry. And you got to go to the YouTube channel, and it'll be in the YouTube chat. You could click on it inside the YouTube chat that I sent out. Yes, so with the flowers,
I just feel like they're very sentimental for somebody you have never met in your life.
well,
Right.
flowers to me is a sign of respect, regardless if he knew me forever or if he knew me just today. Like flowers is just showing that he respecting my divine femininity. And so as a man just does that as a gesture to let you know. And then too, there is a talking stage that goes before the dating stage. So of course you probably had a few conversations with the guy. He really liked you, and he feel like y'all, the communication struck a nerve in him. So yes, he's gonna bring you flowers.
No. I've been on blind dates where I never met the dude before.
Oh, I've never been on a blind date. So
did you
yeah. So that's what I mean.
On a blind date.
May I get in for a second here, if I may?
Go ahead, Timothy.
All right, I agree with T. Lachey. It sounds like Katie is putting a value on the roses, like if someone was to show up on the first date and give you diamond earrings, like that's a bit much for somebody I think that's how she's equating the gesture.
Yeah. You're right.
Mhm.
That is.
What, Philip Nichols? You got to explain yourself. Bad boys and jerks win. That's what that's all about. What? I don't know.
I think what he's saying is she's describing she might be coming off, and I'm sorry, I'm saying this is just what it sounds like.
No,
what he's
it's
saying.
okay. Like I'm all
It sounds
for it.
like you're coming
I know
off
I have an unpopular opinion, so
right,
go ahead.
and it comes off as, I mean, I guess to that person is coming off as you like the roughneck bad boy, the perfect gentleman guy is really not who you might be attracted to, and you don't want him to be the perfect gentleman until you actually get to know him. I think that's what it sounds like to some people, and that's why that person wrote what they wrote.
Yes, I want you to start acting. Start being gay and doing all that sweet stuff. Like once you fall in love with me,
Okay, so
but don't do it just to win me over. Like,
well, that's his goal is to win you over because you want him over, and then two, like sister said, you put in value in the flowers. The flowers do have value as he respects you as a woman, because it's like known that women like flowers, even though all women don't like flowers, but
Correct.
it's a thing, it's a
tradition.
It's a chivalrous thing to when you go to a date to bring flowers or chocolate. I bet your ass will want them chocolates though.
Well, see,
I know your ass gonna want them chocolates though.
I would eat them shits and everything, but I'm just saying it would be more meaningful if he got to know me more than gave them to me. Like, you are giving this to any girl that
actually, right? It'll be a difference if he gave you flowers every week or twice a week. Like, so he said, okay, I'm gonna give her flowers, and then so now y'all dating or whatnot, and he's like, I'm gonna give her flowers every week because I appreciate this woman. So it's just a little difference. So you got to understand those little cues, because the flowers is the beginning of what he's willing to do. And we don't want to take away from the flowers, even though all women don't like flowers. It is a gesture of him saying he's willing to do what it takes to do what it takes. Because a lot of men these days, they want to offer nothing for something. But why would you want a man to come to you on the first date with nothing?
And
That's
there's nothing wrong with that. If he came with nothing because she's coming with nothing but themselves. I would like to just say that this is one of the things that, young lady, what was a good gesture you ever done for a man?
Oh, me?
Uh-huh.
Um, I've done a lot of good gestures. I cook for them niggas.
I mean, okay, how many dates had that been in? Or were you already together?
How many dates have I cooked for someone?
No, like how many dates in when you cooked for him, or were you actually a couple at
Oh,
that point?
it was pretty early on. I feel like maybe like
Okay. One of the reason I ask that is because by different view and different expectations of men and women, men don't think like we do. And a lot of women don't realize that.
true.
This man, if you have a man that believes every woman is a queen, should be treated like one, that is that man that presents that flower to every woman. But what he's doing also for that reason that we never know is a test. All they want is to be appreciated. See how you're going to appreciate it. Because what they will learn from that moment is they will learn more about you than you even revealed by your reaction to that flower.
Right. That's the same thing we were talking about chivalry earlier.
Hmm.
It's the same thing. They said, does it still exist? Yes, it does.
so.
Pretty.
Yeah, I
Uh,
agree that it does exist.
so,
I don't think they ever see my reaction though, or they have ever seen my reaction.
What do you?
They
I mean,
they don't know on the inside that I'm turned off by it.
hmm
Other than maybe by the fact that I just never talk to them again.
Well, they would have to know it was something.
Yeah.
But do you think maybe that has something to do with what you've gone through? Because apparently it's happened more than once.
Um. Yeah, it has happened more than once.
Hmm.
Honestly, it just seems. I don't know. I can't explain why I get like turned off by it. I can't help what I get turned off by, but I just know it just feels like they're trying too hard or they're being thirsty. That's what it feels like to me. And I know everyone else like are like, oh, that's so sweet. But like for me, it's like you doing all that and you don't even know me yet. Like I
Okay.
just give me flowers on the second or third date or something like that. Like after we've had conversations.
I don't. Okay. So her mind won't see it because, and I
Yeah,
don't mean any harm, she doesn't want to see it. She's dead set in the
yeah,
belief that there's
no, I
something
just think
wrong.
she feels like, I don't think she thinks it's something wrong. I just think she feels
She
like,
just said it. It comes off
yeah,
as thirsty.
thirsty.
No,
Yeah,
like
it
that in
sounds
my
like to
opinion,
me.
but that's just
oh,
Right.
in
no,
That's
it's
my
what I'm
not
opinion.
saying.
thirsty.
I'm a
No.
man listening in, and as a man listening in, what I like Miss T. Lachey said, men and women we think differently. And as a man listening into you guys talk, what I heard you say just now, Katie, is I want him to give me flowers when I feel like he should think I deserve them.
Or
Yes,
when I want them.
exactly. I
Hmm.
feel like and I feel like this is kind of the same thing as what I'm sorry, I can't remember your name. T Lachey.
Uh-huh.
Like once I've earned them, then it's gonna be more meaningful
You
because
earned them by
I've
But
right
I
of
earned them.
already
being,
earned
you
them just
earned them
from
by
being a
right of being a
woman.
beautiful woman. You
Yes,
earned
you
them by
earned it
right.
already.
He
And
didn't.
I can't
I
even
mean,
see you. But the fact that a man on a blind date brought you flowers, that is respect,
Mhm.
which is what we as all women want.
I'm sorry. Let me backtrack a little bit. They weren't blind dates. They already knew what I looked like.
Right.
So
And again, they must believe that you are a beautiful woman and you deserved it. I don't think it should matter whether it's the first time, the second time, the third time, except the gesture of comment.
and
And I think a lot of
I
us should know
surely
how to
did.
just accept a comment to
I
say thank
surely
you.
did accept it. I
Yeah.
appreciated the gesture, but I can't. I also can't help.
Yeah.
What
Right,
turns
but it
you
goes
off?
back to what I said earlier, though, is that a man will only treat a woman based on the value that he sees in that woman. So if you guys talk online, you meet online, and he sees pictures of you or whatever, and he decides to bring you any whatever it is, if it's a $15 Starbucks gift card or just if it's the fact of, like they said earlier, the fact that he went out of his way to attempt to make an impression. So it sounds like the way you view flowers, emphasis on you, not saying there's nothing wrong with, you can, you're allowed to and free to see things the way we all have our own opinions. You can see things the way you want to see, but it sounds like, and this is just me being a man on the outside looking in a hypothetical. If you and I were to go on a first date, and I bring you a flower and you gave me a negative reaction to it,
I wouldn't do that. I would never do that.
No, she said she just wouldn't date you again.
Right.
I
just think if
I
you
would
look
never
at it
give
like
you a negative reaction.
If you look at it like this, it's only a flower. It's not really nothing. It's
Right.
just a flower.
It has too much power.
Yeah, it's nothing. You already earned the flower just by
Maybe
waking
I
up.
just wouldn't have liked those niggas even if they didn't bring me the
Yeah,
flower.
maybe
I don't
that's
know.
it.
Cause
Okay, so this is but I want to share this to everyone. Let me share this real quick. And you guys give me your take on it.
Let me just get the door for you.
okay.
He got me.
Auntie Trina said, "Give me my flowers now. My first date with my."
Hello, be quiet, Katie.
Oh,
I'm
sorry.
trying to video.
Yes. Would you want me to open the door for you?
You was talking right when she started talking.
Open the door for you? Yes.
Got me at the Cheesecake Factory, y'all. I ain't getting out this car.
Yes. Would you want me to open the door for you?
Okay.
Are you're recording me?
Yeah. Yeah. This is the Cheesecake Factory. This is the Cheesecake Factory, y'all.
What's the problem with that?
This is a chain restaurant. Who takes someone that looks like this to a chain restaurant?
You want to talk about it? I'm fine with talking about it, even in front of them.
Oh, yeah, I want to talk about it.
Yeah.
Come on, get up on in the car. Yeah, we're going to talk about it. Oh, okay.
So,
yes, let's talk about it. Let's talk about it.
So you expect a man to go all out on the first date. Is that right?
I mean, you're supposed to. When you take out a beautiful woman and you're courting her, because I get courted. So you're courting her, right? You're supposed to take care of her. You're supposed to cover her. You're supposed to protect her, cherish her, treat her well, right?
Yeah.
That's what you're supposed to do.
I agree. I went into this date as I expect, with the expectations for myself, to keep you safe, to respect you, to for your food, of course, pick you up, of course, and just treat you like a gentleman, which I believe I have done.
I mean, you've been pretty nice, but I mean,
and then
Cheesecake Factory.
I, on the other hand, have certain expectations for a girl I go out with on the first date. I expect her to be respectful too. I expect her to be cooperative, and at least
what did I do that wasn't cooperative?
Well, I mean, even when we were walking to the car, you wouldn't.
Okay, I'm gonna stop it right there because I don't.
Please do. I'm sorry, but please do.
Okay. Yeah, so she was upset about a Cheesecake Factory date. Now, I just want to give my opinion and I'm gonna ask y'all what y'all think about the video. But when I used to go to the Cheese Factory, I was like 16 and I went plethora of time. Me personally, I don't go to the Cheesecake Factory. I don't do it no more. I'm burnt out on it. It's more, to me, it's more of a teenage spot than an adult spot. Because that's what I was doing when I was a teenager. Now, if my dude took me to the Cheesecake Factory, I'm not gonna complain. You know what I'm saying? I'll just be like, okay, well, I'll just grab me a cheesecake, one of their signature cheesecakes, and whatever, and some appetizers. You know. So, what do you guys think?
Maybe the guy didn't know, you know? Maybe he didn't really know better not to take her to the Cheesecake Factory. Maybe
I
he thought
think
he was
culture
doing
has a
good.
lot to do with that because I feel like some brother told him take her to Cheesecake Factory because he didn't know where to take her. But go on.
Yeah, I feel like he
I don't.
probably thought he was doing a good thing.
If you would have played the rest of the video, he goes on to show her a list of where he had reservations made prior. But the reason that they didn't go to the cheesecake, that they ended up going to the Cheesecake Factory and not the other restaurants, is because he told her to be ready by a certain time. That time came, he pulled up to pick her up. She wasn't ready. She made him sit in the car for like an hour extra while she got ready, which I get because she don't know him to invite her into her place, what she says in the video. All of that's fine and dandy. But me personally, I don't think a restaurant, a sit down and eat thing is a good first date ever because you can't really talk to each other with food in your mouth. You know what I mean? So the going to a restaurant is cliche. You know, I get it. You know, people, let's go out to eat. We can get to know each other and whatever and whatnot, or drinks and appetizers. But a full course meal, I think would be something that you would do maybe later, like after an event, like you go do an activity and then get food afterward or something like that. But toward the end of the video, she started to give him more attitude and more issues, and he just got to the point where he was like, you know what, I'm gonna take you home.
Well, I think I want to finish the video now, but I do want to say what Auntie Chita said, a classic case of a chick chasing a meal over wanting to spend quality time with a man to get to know him. And I have heard a lot of men say stuff like that. I've heard men say the woman will go out on the day with them, tell them, eat the meal, tell them she got to go to the bathroom, and then leave them there.
I personally, from that video, not to cut you off, I don't think with Tim saying the part of it that he said, she didn't think too much of the date anyway because she was not ready. So if you knew this person and he was someone you were really into, we all know we gonna be ready. So I don't think she cared for the date anyway to not even be ready. But then because you had to sacrifice going somewhere because of your own doing to belittle this man and have it on record, I believe in confidence, but I believe she got way too much. That is the type of attitude right there that some men look at and see and don't want to even be bothered with, because there's a certain level of respect. She literally embarrassed or tried to embarrass this man, and it was all on her. Again, not taking accountability. And there's nothing wrong with confidence, but that, I don't even know what that was, because to me, it was pure disrespect.
To me, like, okay, I do want to finish the video, but I just have to say it was like one of those things, like, okay, I when my husband asked me, what do you want to eat? I don't know. Let's go somewhere. Let's eat something, cook something. You want me to cook? I'll cook. What you want to cook? I don't know. So, you know what I'm saying? Most women, when you ask them, what you want to eat? We don't know. Just, make the arrangements. You know what I'm saying? And when we get to where we're going to pick something off the menu, period.
And see, that's a togetherness that you're already in. But for a first date, for her to know that she was the one not ready, then try to record the man and make a mockery and mumbling things up under her breath. How old are you?
Right.
Because, see, at some point, there should be an adult. There should be some respect somewhere.
Right. You right.
I think it went way too far with
Right.
social media. They
Yeah,
give it too much power.
Let me address this comment. You're right. Some of us do know, like we be having taste for certain things, but 9 times out of 10, you know, especially if it's one of those, if she did go to work, right? This is just me. I'm just speaking out of my own experience. If I worked a long shift and my man's or my date, I knew I had a date and it was gonna be on him. He said it's gonna be on him. I don't care where he take me. Just go. Let's go eat because I'm hungry. You know what I'm saying? And even if it is a free meal, okay, he want to spend time with me. Let's just, even if we just drive all the way down to Pinky's in Hollywood, I don't care. You know what I'm saying? I don't care if we go to what's my spot? Johnny Pastrami's. Let's go to Johnny Pastrami's because they pastrami's be on point. I don't not care. But it's like I'm hungry. You willing to pay for it? I work long hours, and you know I don't feel like cooking, and I might have a taste for something. But at the same time, go ahead, brother.
My fault. Not sorry to cut you off. The comment that says she was late because of work, she could have texted him and said, "Hey, I'm running a little late. You know, I apologize. You know, it's gonna be a while before I'm ready or whatnot." That would have been different than making him wait all of that time.
Respect.
And then what Mika just said when she said we can go to Pinky's in Hollywood, that's a hot dog stand for y'all that don't know. So she's saying, you know, it's not really about the food for her, which is dope.
Right, because it's a compromise of knowing you were running behind. You see what I'm saying? It's like, where did the step up come in to say, okay, this is going to be okay because I know I was running behind? Why make it look like he's doing something wrong when you were running behind? Whether work or whatever it was, it still fell on her.
And to me, and I'm not trying to shade the sister because she's a beautiful sister, but sis, you ain't all that.
No, and it's the attitude for me. And the whole time,
that's what makes her ain't all that because
the attitude.
Attitude.
Yeah,
it's
and sitting up with the breast propped up. What was wrong with just showing your face? You wanted everybody to see your cleavage. That's another issue with women. Why are you showcasing?
I chose my cleavage now.
No, it's one thing if it just shows. She was intentionally showing it. So that's showcasing for what?
Right. Y'all, what you gotta say? Did you already talk about this, y'all? Because I want to move forward in the video. Did we get everybody's opinion on this video? Katie? She done went to go to the baby, I guess. KT. Okay, we moving on. Let me see. I got people jumping in and off on here. If your internet tripping, reboots your modem or whatnot, and somebody got their need to change their fire alarm, the batteries. Let me make this smaller. How come I can't play it now?
Take his comment off the screen is covering up the video.
Give me a second, brother. Okay.
Oh, okay, my bad. I'm sorry. I'll just let you know it's there.
Okay.
Let me just get the door for you.
Okay. He got me at the Cheesecake Factory, y'all. I ain't getting out this car. Yes.
Would you want me to open the door for you? Okay. You're recording me?
Yeah.
I think we already
Yeah.
went part past this.
This is the Cheesecake Factory. This is the Cheesecake
Let
Factory,
me
y'all.
fast forward a
What's
little
wrong
bit.
with that?
You seen the chart yet?
Oh, okay. Okay. Right.
I
Yeah.
can respect that. I can respect that. When I got to your apartment to pick you up, you didn't want to invite. I can respect that.
Let me go
When
back
around my
in.
arm or anything like that, or hold my hand, like even like when we were walking to the car, you wouldn't put your hand around my arm or anything like that, or hold my hand or anything like that.
I mean, it's too early for that.
Okay.
I
Yeah,
don't know
and
you.
I
Yeah.
can respect that. I can respect that. When I got to your apartment to pick you up, you didn't want to invite me in. I can respect that too. We're not
Again,
maybe
I
we're
don't
not
know
there.
you yet.
Okay.
I don't know you yet.
And then, but
I mean, I feel like I'm doing everything I'm supposed to do as a woman.
But
I got myself
there's
all made
nothing
up.
wrong with the Cheesecake Factory, right?
Yes, there's a lot wrong with the Cheesecake Factory.
Okay. Well, look at
look
at my plan where we were gonna go originally.
See, now that's where we should have went. All right there. Call him. Call him.
No.
What do you mean no?
See,
I know you
specifically
didn't.
told you both yesterday and this morning that I'd come to pick you up at 4 p.m. Right?
Mm.
And I got to your place at 4 p.m. You didn't even come downstairs for another hour, and so I was waiting downstairs
I understand.
for an hour. Right?
But I wasn't expecting for work to take me so long. I got home a little late. And like I said, I don't know you well enough to invite you up into my apartment.
And
that is not possible.
And that's why I'm thinking, okay, if we're not there in the relationship to, meet at your apartment, then maybe we're not ready in a relationship for such a nice, fancy restaurant as Aria. Especially if I'm paying for the whole thing, which I'm still willing to do. I would have been.
I'm gonna stop it right there.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I agree. We don't need to touch on her anymore because that's what we don't even need to touch on her anymore. You're right. Because sis, you wasn't interested in the first place. And you showed your interest by not communicating. You should have communicated that you were running behind. You didn't communicate that. And even if you did, you got the man sitting in his car for a whole hour.
Right. And did you see the downplay to try to push her moral up? But the most important moral can't balance the other, which is respect. So you downplay it with, I can't invite you in my place. I don't know you like that. So now you kick up a moral of protecting your domain, which is understandable. But I also heard him say, if we were dating enough and I'm not welcome in your home, then maybe we shouldn't been dating enough for me to take you to a nice restaurant and still pay, which I was willing to do.
Exactly.
So that's why I said there was still something off here, because you didn't have enough decency to just say, hey, work ran late, I'm running behind.
I don't know if she did or she didn't.
Well, he said she didn't. He waited outside.
And the date wasn't worth it.
Yeah.
Pretty much. Okay, so we're at the 2-hour mark, and any final thoughts? Okay, let me just reiterate some of the questions that was asked, and then we have our final thoughts based off of those. So the first question was, is Black love dying because of Black lust? And then another question was, should we teach the young to have committed relationships than instead of exploring other relationships. One topic was posed that we need to find a different rites of passage for young men. And so what would be your solution to that? And then we talked about emasculation of men, and we talk about demonizing women. So and we talked about sexual gratification, giving boys prostitutes at a young age, and asking them to teaching them to put more notches on their belt as far as sexual. And then the last thing is, what do you think about Jada Pinkett Smith, Remy Ma, and Tia Mowry and Corey Harcourt or whatever? Okay, what's your last thoughts? We'll start with Timotheus.
That's a whole lot to try to unpack, because those are completely different, things. But as far as black love and black lust, I don't think black love is dead. I think that is being clouded by the sexual gratification coming off first. Like I've said, I've spoke to women that say they want to have sex and see if they like you later. And I think that kind of undermines and demeans relationships. I think that we do need to present better examples for kids as far as how to have and learn to have committed relationships and what to look for and how to recognize certain characteristics, as well as the red flags and the positives. I think that the all the celebrity stuff, to me, it's just junk. I can just throw that out with the bathwater. But I think but in relation to that, I think people need to stop looking at celebrities as a blueprint to what they think their relationship should be. That the whole hashtag relationship.
Oh, hell yeah.
We did touch on the propaganda.
Couple goals should just be thrown away as a hashtag.
Right. That needs to stop. I do believe that we as a people have been so stripped of our culture that we do need to devise a better rites of passage for both men and women. And even if that's, especially for our boys, even if that's just graduating college, just as a starting point, to as an induction into manhood, just to where you can say you got a good head, make sure you got a good head on your shoulders, you have necessary tools to go forth in life and be a man enough to take care of yourself as well as a family. I think that will be a good starting point. And what was some of the other stuff? Like I said, you said a lot.
Yeah, I think you got them on, because we talked about propaganda, and that was one I didn't even add about. Do you think it's propaganda with the media? Because we did touch on that, and I said I do think it's propaganda, and because you touched on that when you said we shouldn't focus on celebrity relationships, and you're right. And I think it's propaganda within the media. So
I don't think I was sorry to switch topics. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Tamika.
No. Go ahead. You go ahead.
You did mention something about should we teach our kids to be in committed relationships, and I was not present for that conversation. So what was the commentary?
Girl, just do your closing thoughts on that. Like, what's your answer to that question? Those was the questions that was posed. So the question was, do you think black love is dying because of lust, black lust? Should we teach our young to be in committed relationships instead of teaching the young boys to get another notch on their belt? Or like buy our young boys prostitutes, because men do that a lot, buy their young boys prostitutes, or force them to be with a woman. So we touched on that. And the other one was sexual gratification. How does it affect our community? And then so you guys just give your final thoughts on us. And what do you think about Jada Pinkett, Remy Ma, and Tia Mowry and their situationships? Okay, moving on. T. Lachey, what's your final thoughts?
Okay. First of all, it is propaganda.
Mhm.
I'm with Tim on Jada and Remy out the window.
Mhm.
Again, I think that if at home young women and men learn how to know who they are and to love them, they would be able to define to know what dating and where they're going is, because that walks them through of knowing that I am who I am and I don't have to become anybody else to be under you if it's not correct. As far as men with the prostitutes and the boys, being that men are compartmentalized,
Mhm.
sex doesn't mean anything to them. But I think the reason why fathers do it is because we can almost be rest assured that the first time a girl has sex with a boy and the first time a boy has sex with a girl, if they're both virgins, they can learn and experience together of innocence. But if a young man has sex with an experienced girl, we know if he's his first time, his brain is gone. So with his father doing that, let me show you some things so that way if you run across this, you won't be head first. So that to me is not, it's not a good idea. I'm not saying I agree, but I do understand where it comes from.
Mhm.
The demonizing of women and demasculating men, I don't agree with either. Unfortunately, it comes from a place of generations. This is just not something that either gender has learned on their own. That is a generational thing. Society gets too much credit with a lot of things because everything starts at home first.
Mhm.
So I believe in not only that technology exposes, but everything was already going on. Technology just shedded a camera and a light on it.
Mhm.
And I'm trying to remember the last one because I was
I think you
absent.
said everything in a nutshell, and you already you touched on the rites of passage. What should be the rites of passage of our young men these days?
Oh, okay. That I believe as well still starts with women. At the end of the day, we all um, interact with each other. Men and women create children. Therefore, the influence of both. One can do it alone. They shouldn't have to. But if you don't have it in you, what is correct already, you cannot pass down what is correct. So again, Tim said it best, lead by example. But if what you believe you're leading with is the example and it's not, again, you produced another broken person, male or female, into this world.
Okay, thank you. Keep that gun fully loaded for tomorrow's interview, sis, because I know we
Yes,
got some
ma'am.
things to cover. All right, let me go on to Paul.
Wait, I'm curious because I was not present for the conversation.
Okay,
about-
well, just hold on. They're gonna reiterate. Just listen. Paul, what's your final thoughts about what we discussed and what we covered, brother?
Sister Meek, I had to be honest with you.
Just go over what we already covered with you.
Is this the one who
What?
asked me if I expect a dude to pay for a date?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
All right. Calm down, killer. Calm down, killer. We can fight another time.
I'm gonna claw your ass in a minute.
Yeah, we can fight another time. You know what, Mika? I really don't have any final thoughts. I got a lot. Yeah, I got a lot going on. Trying to get my phone and some other things going. But I will say this. I enjoyed the conversation, what I did participate in, what I could hear. I enjoyed hearing the different perspectives. And for
Give
once,
your last thoughts on chivalry, then, sir.
chivalry, my last thought on chivalry. I think that it should be something that young men should continue. I think that something that young ladies might need to recognize and understand that, not every man that does something for you that would be considered chivalry is an attempt to holler at you. It's not always an attempt. Some cases, yeah, but overall, not everything is an attempt to get in your drawers.
And one more thing, I want you to touch on should we teach the young to be in committed relationships at a young age?
What's
Or
a young
should
age though?
puberty. Should we teach the young to be in committed relationship once they start going through puberty?
No.
I think
Or should we
I'm
teach
gonna let
them?
y'all comment on that.
Or should we teach them to, have friends and date and all that stuff?
Absolutely.
I think again, we just gonna fight about who gonna talk, huh?
Go ahead.
It's final thoughts, sis.
My final thought on that is again what I said before. When you realize that your child is starting to pay attention to other individuals where they're interested in dating or liking or whatever, that's when you need to have that discussion with them. And that's the only thing I can offer up right now.
It's a discussion of respect, right?
Well, of course, you have to have that discussion about respecting a person, but you wherever your child is in that moment that you recognize it, you have to address that child and where they are, and then at some point try to get them to where they need to be. Or you know what I mean? It's like just because you like a girl or a boy doesn't mean that it's okay to like them. Why do you like them? What is it about that person you like? Challenge your child. So I mean, you have to have discussions with your kids, and I would say, whatever age that you recognize that your child, it might be, if it comes, because sometimes our children don't tell us that they like somebody at school. Sometimes we don't know. But if you happen to get lucky enough and notice that they're acting strange, and you say, "Hey, what's her name?" or "What's his name?" "Oh, mama and daddy, stop. No, I know this is, and what's his name?" Then have that talk with your child. That's what I say.
Okay, I feel that. Okay, Katie, what's your
Well, you know what? I agree with him on that point. Initially, it just sounded like, why would you encourage a middle school child to be in a committed relationship?
I mean, do we teach them the values of committed relationship versus teaching them to get notches on their belts?
Oh, I'm gonna teach my kid whatever works for them. Like, and yeah, I agree with what he said. Like, it depends on where they're at, what they're thinking, where they are in their life at that time. Like, and you can't put a blanket rule on like the time spent in a relationship with a person. The same way you can't say, oh, at what age are you going to let your kid do this or like teach them this? You got to see where they are in their life at that time. So,
okay,
yeah. But I'm definitely not going to like pressure them to be only in if we're talking about marriage or committed relationships, like that's definitely something I'm not going to pressure them to do. It would have to be something that works for them.
Okay. Y'all, are you there?
Yes.
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, what's your final thoughts on the whole live? You've been here since the beginning, so just give your final thoughts on whatever points you want to make, sis.
Well, I just feel like it was a good show. I don't really have any final thoughts. I agree with them as far as with the children. You just have to talk to them when it comes. You can tell your child to be in a committed relationship, but if they don't want to be, I mean, it just depends on the child. And I just think it was a good show. I enjoyed the conversation and the cast.
Thank you. I want to thank everybody for stopping by and showing up and showing out, even in the comments. Thank you, T. Lachey. Everybody tune in.
You are welcome. Thank you.
This knowledge that this sister about to bring. She about to bring the heat for y'all. Y'all ain't gonna even be ready. Y'all ain't gonna be ready. And then thank you, y'all. You guys, she got Girls to Queens. That's her nonprofit. You guys check in on that because she's trying to grow these girls into queens. We talking about teaching them the old school way, teaching them how to be modest and women. Okay. And then we got KT on the line, and she will be back. And I ain't gonna go tell you, this is my secret weapon, Katie. I ain't gonna give you all the things about KT, Killer K, because she's finna kill y'all with some.
Hey, y'all.
Right? And then we got Timotheus, the old school homie. I'm surprised and I'm so glad that you showed up and showed out, brother. Thank you.
Thank you for having me, and everybody, you know, check out the Average Black Man Show. We're gonna have to do some collaboration work together, Mika, and everybody else, you know.
That's for sure. You always welcome back to Shooting the Shit. I usually do Shooting the Shit on Mondays at 8 p.m. Pacific time, but I fell asleep, y'all.
I'm in Cali, so that works for me.
Right. So it'll be Mondays, 8 p.m. Pacific time. And I'm not finna go through all the times. Y'all Google that shit. And let me give it up to my ace boom coon. Been riding with me, Paul G, my brother. Thank you for stopping in.
Well, thank you for inviting me, sis. And hopefully the next time I'll have a clearer head and can focus a little more.
No, you did really well, and everything was clear, and this was a wonderful show beyond my imagination. And I want to thank you guys for coming in, and we finna get up out of here.
Good night, all.
Good night, everybody.
Good night, everybody.
Show who you are. Good riddance. Is your kid and bit the forbidden? As it was written, you overbid it. With the heathens, karma is a bitch, so how you living? Pray for my enemies, unforgiven. Cast the pearls on hog moms and chitlin'. If it's too hot, get your ass out the kitchen. Finger licking good looking. Stewing in the stew, I'm cooking. You psyched out, paranoid and shookin'. Shook the table, fades I'm booking. Get prepared for this ass whooping. Listen to the words being spoken. You were talking, I'm awake and woken. While I'm spitting this, got your spit, got choking. Era of a glance in my world, eyes shut open. Parallel in my mind, I'm chosen. Reverse the time, heart frozen. Antarctica, cold as ice. Cast the locks, rolling dice. Mean as nails, I'm nothing nice. They persecuted me like they rejected Christ.